Hi everyone, happy Thursday and great to be with you today. Lynette, who's our Director of Research and Data, is having a couple of technical issues, so I'm going to start this first product hour webinar. So yeah, welcome and thank you for being with us this morning. Today we are going to go through some exciting new products, tell you about those, but also going to have a data update as well. And I'm going to kick off with an update on our brand new product, live viewings. Next slide, please. So a bit about who's here with you today. So we will very shortly have Lynette with you. She's our Director of Research and Data. I'm sure many of you will know her or have seen her. Myself, Rose Marsh, hi, I lead consumer product here at Property Finder. So that's everything you see on the Property Finder website and also our consumer app as well. And I'm also joined by Eva Golan, who's our B2B marketing manager, and she'll be talking to you about our new agent hub. Okay, next slide. Okay, so today I'm going to talk to you about a few things. So first I'm going to talk to you about what a live viewing is for those who don't know. I'm going to cover how to run a live viewing as well. I'm going to give you some top tips for running an amazing live viewing based on what we've seen from a partner portal in Sweden called Hemnet, and also from the live viewings we've run over the last week. And then I'm going to tell you how to access the feature as well. Next slide, please. So a bit about what a live viewing is. So in a nutshell, a live viewing is an online tour of a property broadcast live. The live viewing is scheduled and broadcast by you, the agent, live from Lead Tracker. And then property seekers can watch the live viewing, so stream it live on propertyfinder.ae. They can also ask you questions in our comments section, and they can submit their details to you if they're interested in the property. Next slide, please. So why should you use live viewings? Well, firstly, it gives you increased access to international and local property seekers while they stay home. We see this feature as really, really relevant for the current climate, but also relevant in the future, particularly for international investors who can't do a face-to-face viewing. It saves you time as you can run one viewing for multiple clients. You can have 10, 20, 30, we've seen 50 viewers on a live viewing at one time. Also means you can spend less time on early stage property seekers and more time closing deals. So we hear from a lot of you that you're doing viewings with people who are maybe very early stage, just trying to get a feel for what type of property they might want to rent or buy. This is an amazing tool for you to showcase your property to 10 or 20 of those and not have to do lots of face-to-face viewings with them. Next slide, please. So now we're going to play a short video. It's about a minute long, just summarizing the feature.
The future has come early. Get your property seen by local and international clients. Conduct viewings while your clients stay at home. Property Finder Live Viewings. Step 1. Download Lead Tracker from the App Store or Play Store. Step 2. Select properties and choose the listing you want to schedule a live viewing for. Set the date and time for your live viewing. Your viewing is now scheduled. Step 3. To remind yourself, add the viewing to your calendar. Once you have scheduled the viewing, home seekers will find this on your listing. They will be able to add a reminder in their calendar for your live viewing. Step 4. When you are at the property, to start the viewing, select Go Live. You will now be broadcasting the property live to all the potential clients. And this is what your clients will see. They will ask questions via the comments, be ready to answer them. Potential clients can register their interest after the viewing. This will come through to you as an email lead. Go live with Property Finder Live Viewings. Available now on Lead Tracker app and propertyfinder.ae.
Okay, next slide, please. So now the fun part. This is all about how to run your live viewing, and we've condensed it into 5 simple steps. So first step, next slide, please. First step's a really important one. It's how you get ready to be activated with this feature. Now, live viewings lives in Lead Tracker for yourselves. Lead Tracker is Property Finder's free app for agents. It holds your properties, it holds your leads. It also holds live viewings now. So download Lead Tracker if you don't have it. It's available on Android and iOS. If you do have it, we really recommend that you make sure you're on the most up-to-date version, as that's the version that contains live viewings and all of the little optimizations that we've made to the feature over the past week. So please either download Lead Tracker or update. Second is to get verified. So to have access to this feature, you need to be a Property Finder verified agent. It's really, really simple to get verified. You simply go into your profile in Manager. You fill in all of the mandatory fields. So that's your photo, your name, a bio, and some other fields. You submit your RERA card if you're a Dubai agent. If you are in one of the other Emirates, you submit your residency visa, and then you submit that all to us for approval. And it takes a couple of days and we'll have you approved. You'll be a Property Finder verified agent. You'll be in our Find Agent section. You'll be able to benefit from increased visibility on your property listing pages, and you'll also be able to benefit from this feature as well. If you're not a Property Finder client yet, please reach out to your account manager and they'll be able to get you set up. Next slide, please. So step 2, once you're a verified agent, you've downloaded Lead Tracker and we've activated the feature for you, you'll be able to go into your Lead Tracker and set up your first live viewing. You do this by going to the properties section in Lead Tracker. This is where all of your properties that are published or unpublished on Property Finder live. You click on the property that you want to run a live viewing for, and then you click on the brand new section just below the property's image and price called Schedule a Live Viewing. Once you click on that, you'll be asked what date and what time you want to schedule a live viewing for, and then you just simply click Schedule a Live Viewing and it's done. It will then appear on the Property Finder website and users will be able to sign up for your live viewing by adding it to their calendar. Once you've scheduled your live viewing, you'll be able to do a couple of additional things. You'll be able to add it to your own calendar so you don't forget. You'll be able to share it with a lead, so you might have other clients in your CRM or your database who might be interested in your live viewing. You can share it with them. Anyone can join your live viewing. They don't have to be a Property Finder registered user. You can also cancel the live viewing if you want. Please use this sparingly. We don't currently have the ability to tell people that a live viewing is being cancelled, so only do it if you absolutely have to. And you can't cancel a live viewing 15 minutes before. Yeah, and as I said, it will appear on the Property Finder site. So that's propertyfinder.ae, desktop and mobile, and property seekers will be able to sign up by adding it to their calendar. Next slide, please. So next, the big day. So once you're ready to go live, we recommend that you arrive at the property about 15 minutes before you're due to go live to get set up. You want to go back into Lead Tracker, go back to the property that you scheduled a live for, and we've got a really easy filter which allows you to filter properties that you have a live viewing scheduled for. You go to the property in Lead Tracker and you click Go Live. Now this won't actually take you live yet. You'll then have a couple more steps that you need to follow. The first is that you'll be asked to check your connection. This can take 30 to 45 seconds. We're calling the YouTube API, making sure that everything's working for you before you go live. So please be patient, bear with it. It can take 30 seconds. Nothing's gone wrong. It's just, we're just going through the motions. Then you'll be shown this screen that you can see on your right that says ready when you are. And that's when we know the connection's working perfectly and you're ready to go live. At this point, you have a couple of things you can do. You can click the big white button that will take you live. You'll also be able to switch the view of the camera. So that icon on the left, which is a camera with an arrow, that allows you to switch into selfie mode. That will be there throughout your viewing. You can go from front facing to selfie mode at any time. So once you're ready to go live, click the white button. And next slide, please. So once you're live, property seekers will be able to join your live viewing and they'll be able to send you comments and questions. So this is what it will look like for a consumer. They'll be able to see your screen on the left, and on the right, they'll have a comments section. They can leave you comments. Please look out for comments and questions as you tour the property. We've seen some really, really amazing comments and questions coming through, and it's so fantastic when the agent is able to answer them, during the viewing. Next slide, please. So after the live viewing, viewers will be asked if they're interested in the property. They can then submit their details to you. This will come through as an email lead. So you'll be able to see it in your lead tracker as an email lead. We've also inserted into the body of your email lead something that will tell you that the consumer was on your live viewing. So you'll be able to get it as a lead with all their details, their name, their telephone number, their email address, and you'll also know that they attended your live viewing as well. Next slide, please. So final bit, our top tips on running your live viewing. So this is the 5 things that if you do, your live viewing will be a success. So we've got loads of tips on the hub that Eva will talk about later, but these ones are the ones to remember. Next slide, please. Tip number 1. As I said before, get to the viewing at least 15 minutes ahead of time to check the property and your internet connection. This one's really, really important. We want your property and your viewing to shine. Please make sure the property is clean. We recommend trying the route that you want to take around the property so you know it really well. Have a think about what you want to say to people on your viewing. Check your internet connection. Check that you've got enough battery, all of the things that you would do before you'd go live on Instagram or Facebook, say. Next slide, please. Walk slowly around the property and avoid areas that might not have internet connection. Now, the walking slowly, it has 2 purposes. The first is to make sure that your viewers get a really, really good feel for the property. I've tried this, and you almost need to walk even slower than you think would be right, just really, really slowly, almost exaggeratingly slowly, because it takes a little while for the users to train their eyes on what they're seeing on the screen. So walk super slowly. Also really helps with internet connection as well, because we found when people move very quickly from one location to another, the internet connection can drop. So slowly, steadily, it will help your viewers, it will help your internet connection. And yeah, please avoid areas that might not have internet connection, so basements, heavily clad rooms, those types of things, avoid them because your internet connection will drop. We'll let you know, but it means that your viewers will get a slightly below par experience. Next slide, please. This one we talked about a bit, but if you're not using Wi-Fi, which I imagine most of you won't be because there'll be untenanted properties, make sure that you have enough data on your phone. So we've run lots of tests, and a 15-minute viewing takes about 1 gigabyte of data. But if you're running back-to-back viewings, or just to make sure you have enough, please make sure you have lots of data on your phone. Yeah, it will use about 1 gigabyte, but we recommend having a big buffer. Next slide, please. And as I said before, look out for questions and answer them as you tour the property. We're getting some amazing questions, really detailed, shows that people are really engaged in the viewing. So just look out for them and answer them on the viewing. And then you can also tell your viewers if they want more information, they can submit their details to you. Questions can take about 30 seconds to come through from the point the user hits send. So if you want to wait a little bit at the end to see if anyone has any further questions, please just give them time to come through to you. Next slide, please. Yeah, simple one. You're selling yourself as well as the property. Just introduce yourself and the property at the beginning of your live viewing. So, talk a bit about who you are, your specialisms, how long you've been in the industry, who you work for, all of the things that really help to sell yourself and convince the viewers that they want to work with you and with no one else. And also talk a bit about the property. It's a 2-bed for sale in Dubai Marina, amazing views, one-off price, those types of things. Think about the 2 or 3 things that are really, really going to help you sell the property and convert your viewers into leads. And then at the end of the viewing, just say goodbye and remind viewers that they should submit their details to you if they want to find out more. Next slide, please. So just a final thought on how to access live viewings. Next slide, please. So as I said before, please make sure you're a verified agent. It's free, it's super simple. All you have to do is go into your manager account and just fill in a few details, submit them to us, and we'll get you approved. Make sure you've got Lead Tracker on your phone. Apart from live viewings, it has loads of other great features, including leads, access to your properties. It has market data in there as well. So there's loads of great things in Lead Tracker. If you attended one of our live viewing webinars that we ran either last Thursday or the Thursday before that, then we'll be activating you very shortly. If you didn't, look out for further communication. We'll be telling you how to get activated with this feature. Just a final note that the feature is completely free for you to use. It's free for Property Finder users to use. All you need is to be verified and have Lead Tracker, and then we'll activate you. And I think that's it from me. So at this point, I'm going to hand over to Lynette.
Hello, everyone. So sorry I had technical difficulties. My laptop froze, and then it crashed, and then I lost all my tabs. So now I'm back. So hi, everyone. It's nice to be with you, all of you today, and Ramadan Kareem. As you know, my name is Lynette Abad, and I'm the Director of Research and Data for the Property Finder Group, and I'm also the Business Unit Head for Data Finder. I'm just going to give you a quick intro on why we're launching Product Hour. So today is the first webinar for Product Hour, which is where we share our products and features with you. The goal is to help you utilize all that we offer so you can obtain more business, be as efficient as possible, and close more deals. This webinar is your chance to dig deep into our products, interact with us, and ask any questions you may have. So please ask them in the question box that is already filling up, and we'll try to get through all of them in our Q&A. Your success is our success, and we at Property Finder are working tirelessly during these times to create and innovate. Over the last few weeks, we have created some groundbreaking products, which one you just saw, live viewings, and we launched House Hunt from Home. So let me get back to Rose now. Rose, that was a great presentation, and again, thank you for just picking up the webinar in the very beginning. As all of you can see, we have put a lot of thought and effort into how we can best help you during this current situation. Rose and her team work 24/7, literally, to get these products done for you, and I just would like to thank them all again. Rose, let's go through some questions that we're seeing here. Actually, I have one, my first one. Can you give me some stats on live viewings? We've been running them now for, I believe, 2 weeks. Have agents received leads through live viewings?
Yes, they have received leads. So yeah, we've seen a really, really positive response from both agents and from property seekers as well. So we've got over 600 agents that want access to the feature, which is incredible, and I think really talks to you know, how this industry is at the bleeding edge of the real estate industry across the globe. You know, there's only 2 property portals in the world that are offering these types of capabilities, and the UAE is one of those. In terms of the live viewings themselves, we're seeing on average about 20 viewers per live viewing. We're also seeing an average of about 20 comments across the live viewings. Now we're offering a free marketing boost to some of the first live viewings that we've run. So we're seeing those get higher viewer numbers and higher comment numbers, but so far the numbers are looking very good. And as we said before, agents are getting leads through them. The other thing to say is that we're working tirelessly, as Lynette said, to optimize to ensure you get the most amount of demand from our property seekers. So you get the most amount of viewers and the most amount of leads. We really believe that this technology is the way forward for shortlisting for consumers, and we're optimizing to make sure that you really see the benefit of the feature as well.
Yes, and you guys are doing a great job. Thanks, Rose. Next question that we have here today is, do I have to pay to run a live viewing?
No, totally free. And yeah, we've worked really, really hard to make sure that it is. We've used a free API from YouTube, and we've worked around the clock, very, very hard to make sure we don't have to pass on any cost to our clients in this very difficult time.
Thank you. Does virtual tours and live viewings increase the number of leads for properties the same way as a premium listing?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So there's a couple of kind of parts to that. So the first part is that if you do have a virtual tour on your listing or you have a live viewing, you will get a ranking boost. So you'll have increased visibility on the SERP. And the reason we've done that is because we know from our data that these features are highly demanded by consumers and they net out as in a positive experience for the consumer. In terms of the virtual tours, we're seeing about 1 in 4 users who see a virtual tour watching that virtual tour, which is incredibly high engagement. And we're seeing users that watch a virtual tour converting 3 times more than users that don't. So we really recommend you using virtual tours and live viewings. They increase engagement, they increase conversion. They also will give you that ranking boost to increase your exposure as well.
Very good. Okay. Next question. This is a pretty popular one today. Can I use this feature if my RERA is due for renewal, or can I just upload a valid visa for agent verification instead?
So if you're a Dubai agent, please use your RERA card. Submit the one that you have right now, and then our team, if they need to, will get in touch with you about how the renewal process will work. But yes, if you're a Dubai agent, please use your RERA card.
Okay. What do I need to do to obtain consent to run a live viewing? Is an email or message from the landlord/tenant enough?
Yes. So one of the aspects of live viewings is that you need to gain consent from the owner if the property is tenanted from the tenants. You can do this via an email. So send an email to them and get them to send their email consent back. That is satisfactory.
Okay. Next question that we just got. Once lead tracker is downloaded on the phone, do we enter the same username and password for PF Manager?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Exactly the same. So your manager account details are your lead tracker details. So one set of details across both.
Okay. Next question is, can clients book a viewing or can they only choose timings advertised by the agent?
Yeah, so at the moment, it's only the timings that you choose. But if your clients come to you and say that they'd like a virtual viewing or a live viewing run at a certain time, please feel free to schedule it. And it's a great idea. It's something that we're also exploring. At this moment, we're exploring many optimizations to the features, and a lot of those ideas are coming from yourself. So please keep the ideas coming.
For an agent, are they limited to the amount of live viewings that they can schedule at any given point?
There's no limit currently. We just ask that you schedule, when you do schedule them, you make sure that you turn up for them and that you're able to ensure the quality. You're selling yourself as well as the property. So it's really important that you put your best foot forward when you're doing your live viewing. So there's no limit on how many you can run, but just make sure it's manageable for yourself.
Perfect. Another question that we just got is, can we just have our live viewing constantly showing on our listing so we don't have to physically schedule a time and wait for buyers to be present? They can just look on the listing and click on the live viewing.
So the concept of live is that it's completely streamed live. So only schedule live viewings if you can actually be in the property doing the viewing. The other option is that you can use our virtual tours product. So this is where you pre-record a video and you send it to us, viewings@propertyfinder.ae, with the listing you would like it uploaded to. So that's another option if you want to have an always-on video tour on your listing.
So another question, which is pretty similar, is, can a live viewing be recorded for later use as a virtual viewing?
Yes, so the answer is yes. Every live viewing you do will be recorded, and we're doing our best to send those to you where we can. At the moment, it's a manual process, so you need to bear with us. But we're planning to automate that process, give you access to the video, and then you can tell us whether you want to upload it to your listing as a virtual tour.
Okay. After I schedule a live viewing in Lead Tracker, is there a link which I can share with my clients or on social media?
Yeah, so once you've scheduled your live viewing in Lead Tracker, you'll return to the property screen and you'll have a button that says Share with Lead. Click that. It will open all of your native sharing options, and you can share it via WhatsApp, email, Messenger, all of your normal chat functions. You can share the viewing with your lead.
Perfect. Okay. Do I need Wi-Fi to run a live viewing?
No, so we've tested it over 3G and it works perfectly fine. Wi-Fi is always better because it doesn't eat your data. But yeah, all you need is a good connection and a good amount of data. Please bear in mind that some of the communities here in the UAE are maybe slightly less well connected to Wi-Fi, to data. So make sure you check your connection before you go live. We're also just about to launch a new feature for live viewings that will tell you how good your connection is. So you'll get an excellent, good, or poor rating, and that will give you feedback about how well your live viewing is going to go.
That's a very nice feature. Okay, what happens if my phone rings during a live viewing?
So we've worked really, really hard to make sure that this doesn't close or stop your live viewing. If you answer the phone, it will close the live viewing. So please, as you would normally do on a viewing, please don't answer your phone. All you need to do is just decline the call and the live viewing will continue, no disruption whatsoever.
Okay. Next question, is there a limitation to use live viewings on an old phone? What is the version it supports?
Yeah, our recommendation with these types of features is always, the most up-to-date phone that you can have, the better. We've tested it on older devices, but we recommend that you have, you're using a device that's, no more than maybe 2 to 3 years old.
Okay. Another question that we just got is, does the live viewing appear in the search dashboard? So I'm assuming on the Property Finder search on the website. Where can consumers find live listings?
Yeah, so we've introduced a couple of features to allow consumers to really, really easily find live viewings. So we've introduced a new filter that allows consumers to filter by listings with 360 tours, virtual tours, or live viewings. We're also giving that additional ranking boost, so listings with live viewings will appear higher up the search results. We've also got an icon on the search result card itself. It says live viewing in X amount of hours or days, and it's got a pulsing icon that really is aimed at catching the attention of our users.
Yeah, it's a very nice icon. I actually really like it. Okay, another question is, can I log into 2 devices using one user access for lead tracker?
Yes, you can. We don't recommend being logged into 2 devices at the same time, but yeah, you can use your lead tracker account details across any device as long as you've got lead tracker downloaded.
Okay. Next question is, if I am a registered agent already, so I'm assuming they've already been verified, do I need to resubmit my RERA card again for live viewings?
No. So if you're already verified, you are good to go. We're just, as I said, working through a backlog of lots of people who want access to the feature. If you're not verified, please get verified. As I said, it's very easy, but if you're already verified, no need to worry at all.
Perfect. Okay, and the last question I will ask for now, and then we can get back to the questions at the end in the Q&A. And everyone, please continue to send these questions. They're very, very good. We have a lot of them, so we're going to try to get through them. What are the next features you plan to launch in Live Viewer?
Yeah, so I mentioned one just now, which is the feedback for agents about what their connection's like. So that will really, really help you to know whether your viewers are having a good experience. We're also about to launch self-activation of the feature. So you'll be able to go into Manager and activate the feature yourself, which will help you get access to the feature a little bit quicker. And then the other thing we're doing is just working on some demand side optimization. So that's making sure you have more viewers and that those viewers are more likely to convert into leads.
Amazing. Thank you, Rose. Thank you for the presentation and thank you for the answers. Again, please send your questions here in the question box and we'll get back to some more Q&A at the end of the presentation. So now let's get into my favorite part, some data and market insights. Next slide, please. I wanted to show you a 1-year historical trend for sales transactions. As all of you know, sales volume started picking up in H2 of 2019. In October 2019, we broke the record for the highest volume of transactions in a month since Dubai Land Department started recording transactions, with a total of 4,774 transactions. Then in November 2019, we had a total of 5,037 transactions, which beat the record of the month before. Then the winter holidays came and things slowed down as they normally do. Now, coming into 2020, we continue to see this trend where transaction volumes were increasing month on month. In February, we saw a total of 4,356 transactions. We were hearing the buzz of the expo, businesses were coming in and renting buildings and villas for their staff, and we were getting off to a very good start of the year in the real estate sector. Then the COVID-19 crisis started, and this is where we started to see transactions drop. In March, we had a total of 3,124 transactions, and in April, when we were in full lockdown mode, we had 1,824 transactions. Next slide, please. Now, let's look at the top transacted communities in Dubai in April. So for the off-plan, you see here on this chart, we had Dubai Creek Harbor and JBC as the top two. For secondary, we had Dubai Marina, and for the past year and a half, Dubai Marina has always been the always had the number one spot for secondary transfers. Then we had Palm Jumeirah and Mundon. So overall, so this is both for off-plan and secondary, JVC, Villanova, and Dubai Creek Harbor. If we break it down by unit type, we have apartments. So the top transacted communities for apartments were JVC, Dubai Creek Harbor, and Sakem. And for Villa Townhouse was Villanova, Serena, and Dubai South. Next slide, please. Now, let's look at the mortgage industry. Since 2012, mortgages started to rise steadily year on year, and we were averaging over 13,000 mortgages registered a year. Thus far this year, we had a little over 4,000 mortgages registered. Therefore, we were on the same path as previous years. As you probably know, mortgage rates are at an all-time low now, below 3%, and the banks are being very competitive. Some are even offering 10-year fixed rates at 3.9%. With the mortgage cap now reduced to 80%, low interest rates, attractive prices, and a lot of supply to choose from, this is a great time for buyers to snap up a good deal. As we discussed in our previous webinar on Tuesday with our sister company, Mortgage Finder, their inquiries have gone up by over 30% since the ease in the lockdown. Consumers are asking for pre-approvals, so they are ready to make an offer when they find the right home. This is one sign of a healthy market. Therefore, be ready for these buyers when they call or send you a lead from Property Finder. Answer your phones. We always talk about the phone answering rate. It's extremely important that you answer your phones. Make sure your listings are up to date and they have virtual tours. Go out and do some live viewings as well. Next slide, please. Now, let's look at completed projects thus far this year. Now, I've had a lot of questions from the press saying, how can there be so many completed projects if construction stopped during the lockdown? Construction did not stop during the lockdown. I live next to a construction site, and the amount of progress that they had in the last 2 months is significant. So the total number of units that have been completed, and when I say completed, I do not mean handover, just completed, is 20,639 thus far this year. The top communities for apartments was Business Bay, Town Square, and Downtown Dubai. For Villa Townhouse was Okoya, Dubai South, and Damac Hills. And for service apartments was JVC, Al Farjan, and Al Rafa. As you see on the donut to your left, 76% of the completed projects were apartments, 18% were Villa Townhouse, and 4.7% were for service apartments. Next slide, please. Now I'll pass you off to my colleague Eva, who will speak about Property Finder's Hub.
Thanks, Lynette. Hi, everyone. Hope you're well, and thanks for tuning in to this week's product hour. So many of you might already be familiar with what we launched earlier this quarter, but for those of you who aren't, and for those of you who want to find out more, I'll quickly show you a demo of a new exciting feature that we call the Hub. So quickly, next slide, please. So before I go into the demo, I'll just summarize what the Hub is. The Hub is a content center we built for real estate agents like you who want to make the most out of your presence on our portal for you who want to grow your brand and if you want to maximize exposure to your listings. So why do we build it and why do we think that you'll find it of value? We didn't have a central place to host our useful content that we gathered over the years, and we wanted to change that. So that's easy for you to find the latest product information and insights from us on how you can maximize your presence on our portal. We're actually pretty chuffed with the response we had so far, as the target that we set ourselves for the first 3 months in terms of traffic, we already reached it in the first 4 weeks instead of 12 weeks. So that leads me to believe that what we've built is something that's of value to you, and we'll continue improving it, which is something I'll speak to you more at the end of my 10-minute presentation. So stay with me. So let me show you how you can get on the hub, and I'll show you around the hub. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so you can click through to it from the propertyfinder.ae homepage, or simply go to the propertyfinder.ae/forward-hub. So on the hub's homepage, you have the option to get started if you're not advertising with Property Finder yet. But as most of you already are, let's scroll down to the most relevant sections for you. So on the homepage, you've got the shortcut to the latest articles, latest webinars, and most popular content. If you'd like to see more from any of these of the categories, you can just simply click here to view more. If you are a relatively new agent in the business, you should find the first 2 tabs pretty educational as to what you get by advertising with Property Finder and the tools. So let me click through to one of the pages. So this, for example, this page tells you how you can maximize your presence with your agent profile, what Rose was saying earlier about how to get verified, for example, how to be a community expert or how to apply to be our outstanding agent. Right here, you can find out everything and explore it in full. So moving on, you can also explore our tools that come with your Property Finder subscription, be it Manager or Lead Tracker. You also have the option to explore the different CRM solutions we have to offer, as well as send an inquiry should you or your managing director like to find out more about Data Finder, especially now that is being offered to you for free for all our customers for 1 month. If you've tuned into our previous webinars, you would probably already know that. So let's move on to the third section, Agent Guides, which is essentially our blog. We've divided into 3 categories based on what each category helps you to achieve. The first one aims to give you tips on how to elevate your brand. So you will find articles such as how to be a community expert in your area in order to maximize your brand and listing exposure to home seekers, benefits of verifying your agent profile, especially now, like Rose mentioned, that you need to be a verified agent in order to access live viewings, and this article tells you everything you need to know how to do it. The second section of Agent Guides is focused on how you can promote your listings and includes content relating to how to use virtual viewings, live viewings, and so on. The third part is focused on how you can work smarter and touches base on, for example, latest feature updates such as map search and how you can use it to your advantage. And for example, also how quickly we acted on the fact that during lockdown you weren't able to gather owner or occupier signatures in person, so we allowed for digital signatures, and all the news and everything can be found right here. The fourth part is my favorite, which is the downloadables, downloadable resources section. We divided it into scripts, downloads, and templates. It's an extension to the agent guide section, but here you can actually download and read helpful PDFs with 1 click, or you can print them and read in your own time. For example, this is where we include tips on how to run live viewings, virtual viewings, how to get a top quality score, and so on. So for example, very quickly,
some of the questions that we received today, for example, are answered here. So in terms of the length of your live viewing, the do's and the don'ts, there's a way for you to download the lead tracker from here, and all the tips around how to schedule your viewing, prepare your property, go live, etc. Everything can be found right here. So I encourage you to just check regularly for new content, just like the agent guides. And last but not least, we streamlined how you can access our awards site as well as apply for the Outstanding Agent Award. You can do both from the hub. For those of you who aren't familiar with Outstanding Agent, it's our monthly competition for agents across all the Emirates, awarding those of you who had a successful month. And this is where you can send your application. You either join the league and then it takes you to the form, or if you're an administrator or a managing director, you can also nominate an agent on the same way. Okay, so this brings me to the last part. If you would like to see, if you see there's a little click through in the footer. If you'd like to see your article featured on the hub, you can apply to feature as a guest blogger. You simply need to email us, hub@propertyfinder. It goes directly to me, and include the following in your email. And then obviously you will get exposure on the hub and on our social media. Just please bear in mind that the article needs to be B2B focused, because the hub is for real estate agents and not for consumers. And lastly, I also want to let you know that you can submit your feedback on how we can improve the space for you. So we launched it for you, and we want to make sure that it's as useful and resourceful as possible. So again, you can submit your feedback right here, and that goes directly to me. So I look forward to hearing your thoughts on how else we can improve the hub. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll pass you on to Lynette.
Thank you very much, Ava. This is so insightful. There's a wealth amount of resources there for our clients. You guys did a great job, and I know you're constantly adding to it and improving it, adding more content. All the webinars that we do, including, for example, the one today gets posted in the hub. So it's always your one-stop shop, your B2B one-stop shop for you. And as I said in my intro, not in the beginning, but in my intro, we are doing this for you. Your success is our success, and we want to make sure that you have all the tools and you're fully equipped to get your job done in the most efficient way possible. Okay, now let's get to Q&A. I've been going through some of these questions, and they're very, very good. Okay, Rose, obviously these are all for you. How do agents respond to clients during a live viewing?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've watched quite a few of the live viewings, and this is my favorite part, when an agent gets a question and answers it directly on camera. So if you're filming yourself, so you're holding it out in front, you'll see the comments coming up on your screen on the right-hand side. You can simply go into selfie mode and answer the question, or you can just answer it out loud as you're showing the property. What works really well is if you read the question. So you say, okay, I've got a question here about you know, whether chillers included, and then you can answer the question. And it tends to be, if one person's asking the question, then it's useful for all of your other viewers. If you are using someone else to film for you, which we've seen work really well as well, so if you're in lockdown or social distancing with a partner, you might want to get them to come to the viewing for you and do your filming for you. You just need to ask them to watch out for the questions. So works really well if they just read the question out loud to you. So they say, you know, I've got a question for you. It's about the total plot size, and then you can answer the question. What also works really well is if you just take a couple of seconds at the end to ask if there are any further questions. So are there any further questions? I'm going to wait 45 seconds to see if there are, and then you can end the viewing if not.
Thank you, Rose. I've seen quite a few as well, and the best ones is when the agent really takes their time and goes very slow, as you said earlier. I mean, there are some where, and we all get it. This is new technology. Maybe some of you aren't comfortable being on screen, and some like just whiz through the property and it's not a very good experience. So the best ones I have seen are the ones that really take their time. They go super slow and they answer the questions as they come in. This I think is very important, because there was one that I saw where the agent was very focused on showing the property and wasn't really answering the questions as they were coming in. And I just felt that that wasn't very engaging. Whereas when I saw another agent very slowly going through the property, as soon as the question came in, they answered it. And I think that that's super engaging. So that's just my feedback on that. Okay, next question. Oh, this is a new one. What if two agents from different agencies request to do a live viewing on the same property? Is it allowed for both of them on a different time, or do you select first come, first serve basis?
No, it's totally fine that two agents might be doing a viewing on the same property. This is where the owner getting the owner's permission is really important, though. So you need to both request permission from the owner to get to run the live viewing.
Okay, thank you. Do listings with live viewings get more exposure than the ones without?
Yes is the answer, because you will get a ranking boost. So you'll get 2 ranking boosts from live viewings. You'll get one if you schedule a live viewing, and then you'll get an additional ranking boost in the hour before your live viewing. So yes, you will get increased exposure, and this is on top of any products you might buy, like premium or featured.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go to Ava now for a few questions here. What is the qualifying criteria to be an outstanding agent?
I'm glad to hear that question. So the only criteria is that you're a verified agent. Same as with live viewings, we want to ensure that you're a verified agent in order for you to apply. That's the only criteria. The rest is up to you. As long as you've had a successful month, whether that's sales or rentals, you will be in the running to win. Our committee chooses a winner based on the transaction values, as well as other things that you guys are doing every month. So yeah, if you'll find all the information on the hub. And in terms of who needs to apply, you can apply for if you're an agent and you want to win. But also the managing director or an administrator can apply on your behalf. We've had many applications that have come actually from either managing directors or administrators, and the agent was pretty surprised and chuffed when they found out that they've won and they've been nominated nicely by their managing director, which I think is something really, really good to and be recognized that way.
Another question about the hub for you, Ava. Is the hub available for property seekers or only for the agents?
So it's available to everyone, but as soon as you land on it, you should know pretty quickly that it is agent focused and broker focused. So it's not a space where property seekers would find really any kind of valuable information for themselves, and it's very easy for them to head back to the home page of propertyfinder.ae in case they get a little bit lost. But we mentioned the word agent a lot, and it's pretty easy to figure out that the audience is you guys.
Very good. Okay, back to you, Rose. A lot of questions for you. This is a really good one. For an average 1 or 2 bedroom property, what is the optimal length of live viewings, and is there any time limit to a live viewing?
So there's no time limit. I've seen 10 to 15 minutes work well for smaller sized properties. And if you finish the tour in, say 5 minutes, please don't feel scared to do the tour again. Maybe do it 2 or 3 times. We've seen that work really well. Another tip based on data that we have from Facebook and Instagram lives, is that it takes on average 2 to 3 minutes to reach your peak viewership. So once you've gone live, just wait, 2 to 3 minutes before you start to tour the property. And this might be the time you use to introduce yourself and just to make sure that everyone can hear you, everyone can see you, your connection's fine.
Okay, next one, this is also a really good one. Is live viewings only for resale properties, or can it be used for off-plan properties from a developer?
It can be used for any property listed on Property Finder. All you need to do is make sure that you have permission from the owner to run the live viewing. And if it's off plan, then you'll need permission from the developer. And we're talking to developers about running them in show homes as well. So that's something that we're really open to as well. The kind of key, I think the key guidance that I have is have a think about whether it's something that would be valuable for a property seeker to see and something that they'd want to see.
Okay. Should the phone be on portrait or landscape position?
Landscape, please. So you'll be forced into landscape when you go live, so you won't have the option of doing portrait. And the reason we ask for landscape is that's the mode that YouTube supports, and that's the mode that looks best for our consumers as well.
Okay. Is live viewing supported on a 360 cam as well?
Yeah, good question. I believe we've tested it, and it is, but we recommend just using your normal iPhone or Android phone. That's what it's optimized for.
Okay, thank you. We have an admin here asking a question. She wants to know if she can do a live viewing, or does it need to be done by the agent?
Yeah, we've had similar questions actually. I'm really open to it being done by anyone who has permission to run the live viewing from the owner. But if you are running a live viewing on behalf of an agent who maybe is a little camera shy or doesn't have the time, please make sure that you are clear with the viewers at the beginning that you're not the agent, and that if they submit their details, they'll be hearing back from the agent who's someone else. And my recommendation is that it's always the agent that does it, because as I said before, not just selling the property, you're selling yourself. And yeah, it's all about giving the agent exposure.
And another similar question from another admin is, can they schedule a live viewing for an agent?
So at the moment, the live viewing needs to be scheduled by the account holder. But it's really interesting feedback. It's something I'll take away to the team and we'll have a look at.
Yeah, it's really important that we get all your questions and feedback, because this is how we improve the product. And obviously we're building this product for you, so we want to make sure that it's the most useful for you. So please continue to send feedback. They can send it to live viewings at propertyfinder.ae, as well as during these webinars. Next question is, can I share a video, can I share a link of the video after live viewings is completed?
You can. At the moment, it's quite a manual process. So you need to request the video link from myself, and we'll share details of how to do that shortly. But in the future, we're looking to automate that. So after you've run your live viewing, you would get the link and you'd be able to share it with clients, put it on your listings, really use it as you wish to sell your property.
Thank you, Rose. I need to conclude with the questions, even though we have many more, but it's becoming time up for the webinar. So I will conclude. As I said in my intro, this is our first product hour. We are doing this for you, for our clients. Your success is our success. We're going to try to keep it as dynamic as possible weekly. We'll be doing demos, for example, of Data Finder, of our CRM systems. We'll be talking about new tools that we're launching. We'll go through Lead Tracker, and we'll have some of our very talented resource from Property Finder on different resources on every single week. Today was another big day for our webinar attendance. We all know you need to close deals. Therefore, we are working very hard to make this hour the best hour of insights for you every week. We have the best data in the UAE real estate market. Much more than the information we share today is available through Data Finder. And as you know, we have given free access to Data Finder. Please ask your account manager if you haven't activated this access. We also publish these webinars, as I said earlier, on the hub if you want other people in your company to see these insights. And as I always say, we want to be your best partner during this time and also in the future. We only do well if your business does well. We will ask for your feedback by email in a few minutes. This is so we can make this webinar even better next week. So please answer our survey and we promise we'll try even harder to be your best partner. Once again, Ramadan Kareem and stay safe. Bye, everybody.